Okay, sorry that we had to do this in two parts, but the battery ran out in my video camera. So here we go. We're now going to be talking about the associative property, okay? And the associative property is when you deal with this. Okay? And what it's saying is you can do addition in any order. And it doesn't matter how you do the addition. Okay? So for example, if I say I have 7 plus 4 plus 9, I can add the 7 plus 4 first, and it will be the same if I add the 4 plus 9. In fact, I can actually add the 7 plus 9 and the 4 at the end, because you can do addition in any order. Okay? So if I were to do it this way, brackets have to be done first because of BEDMAS. I get 11 plus 9. If I do it this way, I get 7 plus 13. But you'll notice in both cases, you get 20. Okay? It also works for multiplication. We'll do that in black. So if I have two things I'm multiplying, and I want to multiply the third one after, I can do it that way. That's the same as if I were to multiply B and C and then do A after. Okay, so it works the same for addition and for multiplication, and you'll see that in the slides. All right. Okay, now we're going to look at the identity property. Okay, the identity property. Okay. Now, oh, my computer went out here. Just give me a second. The identity property says something like pick any number, like 17, and if I add 0, okay, if I add 0, it's still going to be 17. Okay? It doesn't change. Take 17, and if I multiply by 1, it's still 17. So the identity property deals with what changes are made when I add 0 and when I multiply by 1, and really there's no changes at all. And what you're saying right now is, I've known since I was little that 17 plus 0 is still 17, or any number, doesn't matter what the number is, any number at all, plus 0, call that A, is going to be the same. And I've known since I was little that any number at all, I don't know, I'm going to pick the number, I'm going to pick n, whatever that is, and I multiply it by 1, I'm still going to get in. Okay? But this is kind of putting the words and the mathematical properties behind it. So that's what the identity property is. It also works for subtraction. If I take a number and I subtract 0, I still get the same number. It also works for division. If I take a number and I divide by 1, I still get that same number. Quick example, 17 minus 0, or 17 divided by 1, okay, is going to give you the same thing. And that's what the identity property is. Okay? All right, just needed the brush here. Maybe it'll stand there. Well, maybe. Let's go to the inverse property. Inverse. No. Our brush does not want to stand, but that's okay. The inverse property. And that's on the next slide, in the summary slide. Okay. What this is saying here is if I take any number, I'm going to call that number A, very creative. Okay. And I add its inverse, which means the same number with the negative value of it, I'm going to get 0. Okay? If I add its inverse, I'm going to get 0. Okay? So, simple example, take the black. If I take the number 12 and I add negative 12, I'm going to get 0. Okay? It does not work for subtraction. If I subtract negative 12, I'll get 24. It only works for addition. But not surprisingly, there's a connection with multiplication. If I take a number, we'll call it m in this case, and I multiply. Now remember, we can use a dot instead of a multiplication if we choose to. And I multiply its inverse, 1 over m. I'm going to get 1. Okay? So again, if I take any number like 18, and I multiply by its inverse, which is 1 over 18, I'm going to get 18. Remember, this has to be denominator. I'm going to get 18 over 18, which is going to give me 1. And that always works. Okay? And the last one is distributive. Yeah, we don't need the brush because it's the last one. Okay, distributive. And this is one that you've seen, and one that you will use pretty regular. Okay, distributive property. What it's saying is if I have anything, we'll call it A, and in brackets I have B plus C or B minus C, whatever it is, I am going to distribute. I'm going to take A and multiply A by B, and I'm going to multiply A by C, right? And what I end up getting is A times B plus A times C. Okay? And you've seen this a lot, right? If I use just numbers, I'll take 4 and 3 and 9, right? And you would normally say, well, hold on, I'm going to do brackets first. 3 times 9 is 12. Okay. We'll do it over here. This would be 4 times 12, and that would be 48. Okay? And that's correct. The distributive property is suggesting that you do this. That you take 4 times 3, and then 4 times 9. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 9 is 36. And you get 48. Right? Which is exactly the same. And you'd say, well, why would I ever do that? Because I'm supposed to do the brackets first. But where this works is here. And this is where you'll commonly see it. Okay? If you have a variable, like an x, okay? So now you cannot do x plus 9, it's a variable plus a number. But you can do, and this is where the distributive property is useful, you can do 4 times x and 4 times plus 9, which is plus 36. And when you do that, you've been able to get rid of the brackets. You're still stuck with the variable, but you've been able to get rid of the brackets. And you'll see this used very commonly. I hope that makes some sense. Look through all the slides. I'll post this summary video at the end, but really this is all things you've seen before. It's just putting a lot of math language around it. Okay? Have fun with it.